And in fact, Brexit is our next focus. As I mentioned a little earlier, March 29th is a date when the UK's Prime Minister will formally invoke Article 50, thereby starting the two-year countdown for talks on how to settle the divorce, as it were, between the United Kingdom and the European Union. The UK's ambassador to the EU, Sir Tim Barrow, has formally notified the office of the EU Council President, Donald Tusk, with a letter outlining the UK's intentions. Now, these talks will start what will be, for both sides, a historic process. Europe's second largest economy will be the first nation in the EU's 60-year history to quit the world's biggest and wealthiest trading bloc. It follows a referendum in June 2016 in which those campaigning for Brexit won by 4 percentage points.
Yes, we have been informed in advance. We are ready to begin negotiations. We are waiting for the letter. Now we know that it will come on the 29th. And yes, everything is ready on this side. The first step after the notification will be the adoption of guidelines by the European Council, which is the political reaction, if you like. President Tusk will convene this meeting. The Commission then will immediately, and I remind you that when I was asked when immediately is, I said immediately, will issue a recommendation to open the negotiations. This is the legal mandate, if you like, and following this Commission draft recommendation, the Council will authorize the opening of the negotiations and formally adopt and provide the mandate to the European Union negotiator, Michel Barnier.
Now, let's get the latest details on what exactly this Brexit will look like. Richard Bestick joins us now live from London. Richard, good to see you. At this stage, do we have any clear idea what exactly the Prime Minister's negotiation goals are? Is it more likely than not that she's going for a hard Brexit at this point?
Well, you mean, Rama, do we know any more than Brexit means Brexit? Sadly, not a lot. And you're not the only one asking, Rama. Britain's business community wants to know what to expect. The Confederation of British Business, the CBI, the biggest pro-business lobbying group in the country, is eager, it says, to know as soon as possible about the UK's future trading relationships and its negotiating stance with the European Union, this EU giant on its doorstep. Business, says the CBI, can adjust to most circumstances, but it needs advance warning of the practicalities of what's coming down the track. The reality, according to some, is that the two-year period being allowed for the talks is insufficient, and Britain could crash out of the EU without any agreement at all. What they're calling that hard Brexit of which you spoke, Rama. According to the CBI's Director General Carolyn Fairbairn, that would open up a Pandora's box of economic consequences for UK business. Not much of it particularly good.
Indeed, it does seem we've lost that particular signal live to London. OK, I understand he's still on. Richard, the EU Council President, Donald Tusk, he says he will issue draft guidelines on Brexit talks to the EU27 by Friday. What exactly are these guidelines supposed to achieve?
Well, all the 27 have to be brought in for an extraordinary meeting, and the guidelines will set out for them what the procedure is from here. I think, though, at heart, they're a reminder that we're in absolutely uncharted waters with these talks. Never in 6 decades has a country opted to leave the European Union. Even Greece, after years of harsh austerity, in part imposed by the EU, has never looked like voluntarily quitting. So any guidelines that Donald Tusk can offer will be welcomed by all sides. The next 6 months are critical, according to the Confederation of British Business, and getting off to a good start will be essential, if, though, Rama, that's even possible.
Indeed, some pretty interesting times we live in. Thank you for that. That's Richard Bestick, of course, live in London.